Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron. I hope you're having an incredible day or night in Jesus. The American Revolution, A History in Documents by Oxford Press. And so those of you that know me, you know that I really like original source documents. I would much rather have a series of documents from history than what people say about those documents, because I've been totally shocked throughout the years how something's just received and taught like everywhere. It's like universal general knowledge. And then when you look at what was actually said and read the original documents and all this, the history around, it's like, well, that's not what that meant at all. So the American Revolution, A History in Documents. Thanks for being here. Do check out our other videos. Share with your friends, family. Put it on social media since I'm not on there. Stephen C. Bullock. Now, I do have to say at the outset, I was a little disappointed in this. Now, this would be just a great read. I was hoping more for a resource, and I've already used it a little bit as a resource, but it is, I would look at it more as a read. And I don't know if you can see, but it's got pictures of documents scattered throughout, has interpretations of those documents. I was just reading of Jefferson's advice to his daughter from 1790 about pleasing her husband. Common Sense in here by Tommy Paine. Madness and the Revolution. Benjamin Rush was the first professor of chemistry in America. And I love information like that. But there's a lot of pages here as I'm flipping that don't have any documents at all on there. The family quarrel, the coming of revolution. In this 1765 political cartoon, American artist John Singleton Copley was a complicated series of symbols and attacked the Stamp Act. And so I love stuff like that. But it's not just, I've got some of this, and I probably did reviews on them many years ago, like just give me the Constitution of the state of Massachusetts from earliest times to colonial times, same with Connecticut, on and on and so forth. So this is not to say this is not a great book, because I do qualify it, on a scale of 1 to 10, probably somewhere between 8 and 9, as a great book. There's a Stamp Act, but it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. But it is something that I do find useful. Like they've got a little newspaper clipping here. Bostonian first heard the repeal of the Stamp Act to the newspaper brought from ship from London. We are therefore slaves. Protest against British policy involved not only action in the streets, but also political discussions in newspapers and pamphlets. This is the reason they were so big on the freedom of speech. The most widely read and reprinted of all statements of the emerging patriot position was John Dickinson's letters from a farmer in Pennsylvania. Dickinson wrote them to oppose the 1767 Townshend Acts and laws that imposed duties or taxes on a number of common imports, such as paper, glass, paint, and tea. His 12 essays were originally published in a Philadelphia newspaper in 1767, late 1767. They were printed in almost every American city the following year, identifying himself as a farmer, an occupation often viewed as morally virtuous, and usually probably still so. Dickinson, who was actually a lawyer, refined and popularized the arguments against British actions been developed during the Stamp Act crisis and from a long tradition of British and American political arguments. The new British measures, Dixon argues, means that Americans are in danger of falling into slavery. Wow. After the Wilmington, North Carolina stamp collector agreed to resign, a large bonfire was made, and no person appeared in the streets without having Liberty in large capital letters in his hat. Pennsylvania Gazette, January 2nd, 1766. And this is the reason why there was no income tax in America till 1913. Because of this reason, again, I've mentioned my free speech was so big. They just considered it the life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and the possession of property. was another big thing. And so Rousseau and all of this. Just all kinds of stuff. John Locke, which I really like a lot of John Locke. Here's tarring and feathering of people. And so Tea in the Harbor, Breaking the Bonds, War and Independence. I've been reading some stuff about how the Boston Massacre was portrayed and all of this. And so this is a great book, The American Revolution, History and Documents. It wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but it will still be a very good resource, and you may like it as well. I'm sitting here, George Washington, common soldiers write about their hardships the Army endured, while a letter from Abigail Adams describes the suffering on the home front as colonists face rising inflation, riots, and social unrest. Of course, inflation, what they call, it's not greenbacks, that was Lincoln. Continentals, weren't worth a continental and all this. So the American Revolution, A History and Documents, Stephen C. Bullock. Yeah, it'd probably be good if like everybody read it. So God bless. We love you. Bye-bye.